Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the rolling hills of the countryside, there lived a young woman named Eliana. Eliana was a bright and ambitious person, but lately, she had been feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of her daily life. She felt like she was drowning in a sea of problems, and she didn't know how to keep her head above water. One day, Eliana went to her father, a wise and experienced chef, and poured out her heart to him. "Father, I don't know how much more of this I can take," she said, tears streaming down her face. "Every day is a struggle. I feel like I'm fighting a never-ending battle, and I'm exhausted." Her father listened attentively to Eliana's words, his expression sympathetic and understanding. When she finished speaking, he nodded thoughtfully and said, "I think I can help you, Eliana. But first, let me show you something." He led Eliana to the kitchen, where he began to prepare 3 pots of water. He filled each pot with water and placed them on the stove, turning the burners to high. As the water began to boil, he added 3 different ingredients to each pot: potatoes to one pot, eggs to another, and ground coffee beans to the third. Eliana watched in curiosity as her father tended to the pots, but she had no idea what he was trying to show her. She waited impatiently, wondering when he would finally explain the point of this exercise. After 20 minutes, her father turned off the burners and removed the pots from the heat. He took the potatoes out of the pot and placed them in a bowl. He pulled the eggs out and placed them in a separate bowl. Finally, he ladled the coffee into a cup. "Okay, Eliana," he said, turning to her. "What do you see?" Eliana looked at the 3 bowls and the cup of coffee, and she shrugged. "I see potatoes, eggs, and coffee," she said. Her father smiled. "Look closer," he said. "Touch the potatoes." Eliana hesitated for a moment, but then she reached out and touched the potatoes. They were soft and mushy, and she realized that they had been cooked to perfection. Her father then asked her to take an egg and break it. Eliana carefully picked up an egg and cracked it open. The inside of the egg was hard and rubbery, and she realized that it had been cooked by the boiling water. Finally, her father asked her to sip the coffee. Eliana lifted the cup to her lips and took a sip. The coffee was rich and flavorful, and it filled her senses with its aroma. Eliana looked at her father, puzzled. "What does this mean?" she asked. Her father smiled. The potatoes, the eggs, and the coffee beans all faced the same adversity, the boiling water, he said. But each one reacted differently. The potatoes went in strong and hard, but they came out soft and weak. The eggs were fragile, with thin outer shells protecting their liquid interiors, but when they were exposed to the boiling water, they became hard and rubbery. But the coffee beans were unique. They didn't just survive the boiling water, they actually changed the water and created something new and wonderful. Eliana's eyes widened as she understood the point of her father's exercise. "Which one am I?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her father looked at her with a warm and loving gaze. "That's for you to decide, Eliana," he said. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean?" Eliana thought about this for a long time, and she realized that she had been reacting to her problems like a potato, getting soft and weak when faced with challenges. But she wanted to be like the coffee beans, to face her problems head-on and to create something new and wonderful out of them. From that day on, Eliana made a conscious effort to change her attitude towards adversity. She faced her problems with courage and determination, and she worked hard to create something positive out of every challenge. And as she did, she found that her life began to change in ways she never thought possible. She became stronger and more resilient, and she discovered a sense of purpose and meaning that she had never known before. The story of Eliana and the coffee beans spread throughout the village, and soon people were coming from all around to hear the wise words of Eliana's father. And as they listened to his story, they too began to see their problems in a new light. They realized that they had the power to choose how they responded to adversity, and they began to face their challenges with courage and determination. Years later, Eliana's father was asked to speak at a conference of business leaders and entrepreneurs. Vocabulary: adversity, meaning a difficult or unpleasant situation. Example: Eliana faced adversity in her daily life, but she learned to overcome it. Resilient, meaning able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Example: Eliana became more resilient as she faced her problems with courage and determination. Ambitious, meaning having a strong desire to succeed or achieve something. Example: Eliana was an ambitious person who wanted to make a positive impact in her community. Determination, meaning a firm decision or intention to do something. Example: Eliana faced her problems with determination and worked hard to create something positive out of every challenge. Perfection, meaning the state of being completely free from flaws or defects. Example: the potatoes were cooked to perfection, and Eliana's father used them to illustrate a valuable lesson.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.